Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
So, Leo, today we're talking about something every single person who shops needs to know. And I bet you've done this before.
Oh, for sure. I love shopping, maybe too much. But Maya, I have to admit, every time I need to return something in English, I get nervous.
Yeah, a lot of learners feel that way. You're standing at the counter, the clerk is looking at you, and suddenly your mind goes blank. So here's the thing most people don't realize. The problem isn't that you don't know the words. The problem is that you're saying the words in a way that sounds demanding.
Wait, really? Like what?
Let me give you an example. Imagine you bought a shirt, it's too small. You walk into the store, you say, I want a refund.
Oh, I've said that before. Oh no.
See, that's exactly the moment. I want, it's direct, it's strong, and in English it sounds like an order. It's what a king says to a servant, not what a customer says to a store employee.
So what should I say instead?
The magic phrase is 3 words. I'd like to return this. I'd like to exchange this. I'd like to get a refund. I'd like to is polite. It's a request, not a demand. It immediately makes you sound more natural and more respectful.
I'd like to... Okay, I can remember that. So if I'm at a store, I say, hi, I'd like to return this shirt.
Perfect. And then the clerk will probably ask, is there a problem with it? Or do you have the receipt? And then you can say, yes, here it is. The receipt shows I bought it 3 days ago.
Oh, the receipt shows. That's nice. It sounds professional.
Exactly. The receipt shows is a very common, very natural way to refer to what's on your receipt. Instead of pointing and saying, look, it says right here, which can sound a little aggressive. You just say, the receipt shows I purchased it yesterday. It's smooth.
So today we have 2 key phrases. I'd like to return this, and the receipt shows.
3, actually. There's one more that surprises most learners. Let's say you don't want your money back. You just want a different size. What do you say?
Can I change this for a different size?
Close. But the natural word in English is exchange. And I exchange this for a smaller size, or I'd like to exchange this, please.
Exchange, that's a good word. It's not change, it's exchange.
Right. Change is for money. If you say, can I change this? A native speaker will understand you, but it sounds a little off. Exchange is the standard word in retail.
Okay, so I have 3 phrases now. I'd like to return this. The receipt shows I bought it yesterday. Can I exchange this for a different color?
You've got it. Now let's do a real scenario. Close your eyes, Leo. Imagine you're standing at the counter of a department store. You bought a jacket, but the zipper is broken.
Okay, I'm there. I'm holding the jacket.
The clerk smiles and says, hi, welcome. How can I help you today?
Hi, I'd like to return this jacket. The zipper doesn't work.
Good, but let me make it even smoother. Say, hi, I'd like to return this jacket. The zipper seems to be broken.
Seems to be? Why not just is?
In English, when you're making a complaint about a product, using seems to be is softer. It's not accusing the store of selling you a bad product. It's just saying there seems to be an issue. It's more polite.
Ah, so I say, I'd like to return this jacket. The zipper seems to be broken.
Perfect. And the clerk will probably say, no problem. Do you have the receipt?
Yes, here it is. The receipt shows I bought it last week.
Excellent. Now, what if the clerk says, we can only offer you store credit for this item?
Store credit? What does that mean?
Good question. Store credit means you don't get your money back, but you get the same amount to spend in that store. This is very common in American retail. Some stores have a no cash refund policy, especially for sale items.
So I could say, okay, I'd like to exchange it for another jacket instead.
Exactly. Or if you want to be extra polite, would it be possible to exchange this for the same jacket in a different size?
Would it be possible? That's even more polite than can I.
Yes. Would it be possible is a formal, very polite way to ask. You don't need it all the time, but it's great for situations where you're not sure what the store's policy is.
Okay, I'm feeling more confident. But Maya, I have to tell you, and I think a lot of listeners will relate to this, there's one thing that always trips me up. When the clerk asks me a question quickly, I freeze.
Like what kind of question?
They say, "Did you find everything okay today?" And I just stand there like, yes?
That's a classic. Did you find everything okay? Is just a friendly greeting. It doesn't require a real answer. You can just say yes, thank you, and move on to your request.
So I can say, "Yes, thank you. Actually, I'd like to return this."
Perfect. Or even just smile and say, yes, thanks. I'd like to return this item.
Let me practice one more time. Full scenario from start to finish.
Okay, you walk into the store. The clerk says, good afternoon, welcome.
Hi there. I'd like to return this lamp. I bought it yesterday and it doesn't seem to turn on.
Very nice. It doesn't seem to turn on. You used seems to naturally. Great job.
The clerk says, "Sure, do you have your receipt?" "Yes, here you go. The receipt shows I paid with my card."
Excellent. Now here's a curveball. The clerk says, I'm sorry, this item is marked as final sale.
Oh no, what does final sale mean?
Final sale means you cannot return it. In some countries, this is less common, but in the US, clearance items or sale items are sometimes marked final sale. If you buy it, you own it. No refunds, no exchanges.
So what do I say?
You can politely ask, oh, I didn't realize it was final sale. Is there anything you can do? And sometimes, if you're polite, a manager might make an exception. But the key is to be kind. Never get angry at the clerk. They're just following policy.
That's really good advice. I think a lot of learners, when they're nervous, they get louder or more demanding, and that makes things worse.
Exactly. In American customer service, politeness goes a very long way. If you're nice, people want to help you. If you're rude, they follow the rules strictly, and you get nothing.
So the golden rule is, be polite, use "I'd like to," and mention your receipt naturally.
You summed it up perfectly. Now let me give you a bonus tip that I wish someone had told me when I was learning. If the clerk asks, would you like a refund or an exchange, and you're not sure, you can say,
I think I'd like to exchange it, if that's possible.
yes. That if that's possible at the end is very polite. It shows you're flexible, not demanding.
I love that. So let me try to combine everything. Hi, I'd like to exchange this sweater for a smaller size, if that's possible. The receipt shows I bought it 2 days ago.
Beautiful. That is a perfect sentence. A native speaker would say exactly that.
Maya, I feel so much more ready now. Can we do one last practice round? Maybe a harder scenario?
Sure. Let's say you bought a phone case online. When it arrives, it's the wrong color. You go to the physical store to return it.
Okay. Hi, I ordered this phone case online, but the color is different from what I ordered. I'd like to return it, please.
Natural. Now the clerk says, do you have the order confirmation?
Yes, I have it on my phone. The receipt shows I ordered it last Tuesday.
Wonderful. And the clerk says, we can process the return, but the refund will go back to your original payment method in 3 to 5 business days.
That's fine. Thank you for your help.
Perfect. That thank you for your help at the end is essential. Always thank them.
I notice you say thank you for your help a lot. Is that an American thing?
Very much so. In American culture, customer service interactions are often quite friendly. We say have a great day and thank you for your help, even in very brief encounters. It's a way of showing respect and ending the interaction warmly.
Okay, so cultural takeaway, always say thank you.
Always. It makes people feel good and it makes you sound like a native speaker.
All right, I'm ready. I feel like I could walk into any store right now and confidently return something.
That's the goal. And for everyone listening, practice this one sentence today. I'd like to return this, please. Say it out loud right now.
I just said it in my head. Does that count?
It counts if you're on the bus, but really, saying it aloud helps your mouth get used to the sounds. I'd like to return this.
For our Chinese-speaking listeners, I imagine the challenge is that in Chinese, 我要 is perfectly normal and polite, but in English, I want is not.
That's such a good point. For Chinese speakers, 我要 literally means I want, and in Chinese it's fine in a store. But in English, I want sounds like an order, so the switch to I'd like to is very important.
What about Spanish speakers? I know a lot of our listeners speak Spanish.
Great question. In Spanish, quiero is common and polite for shopping, so Spanish speakers also tend to say I want in English. The fix is the same. Train yourself to say I'd like to automatically.
And for Arabic speakers?
In Arabic, direct requests are often perfectly polite, especially with shopkeepers you know. But in English, especially in American stores, it's better to soften your request. So I'd like to, or can I please, are your best friends.
I love how you always think about different language backgrounds.
Well, because English is a global language and different cultures have different politeness rules. Understanding the culture helps you understand the language.
So today, the big takeaway, when you walk into a store to return something, don't say I want, say I'd like to. Use the receipt shows to talk about your purchase, and if you want a different item, say exchange, not change.
And always, always say thank you at the end.
Thank you for your help.
Exactly. That's today's episode of Speak Like a Native. Leo, any final thoughts? Haha, good. And to everyone listening, we have a challenge for you. Next time you need to return something in English, or even just pretend, use one of these phrases. Write your sentence in the comments and we will give you feedback.
That's it for today. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep practicing and speak like a native.